Mary Jones Show on the Talk of Connecticut.
Well, welcome to our show and very happy Monday. Hope your weekend was just wonderful. The weather we've had over the last 4 or 5 days here in Connecticut. Oh, my goodness. This is the Mary Jones Show, the show where friends celebrate life, living, and laughter every day with you 3 to 6. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had the best weekend ever, celebrating the 4th of July, patriotic holiday. Hope you remembered the significance of that in addition to having some fun time and some relaxing time as well, I hope. You know, we've talked on the show for the past few weeks now about making the absolute most of your summer. I have come up with my guide to your best summer yet. It's on our website, talkofconnecticut.com. Do check it out. You can print it out, post it on your bathroom mirror. Well, I don't really expect you to do that, but you could if you wanted to. Or just look at it online. And welcoming back to the show someone who has some thoughts on that very subject in terms of maximizing the summer each and every day, because it will be over before we know it. Oh, I don't even want to think about that. Don't even want to think about that. But it's so nice to have a reason to chat again with. She is a personal life coach, motivational speaker, Heather O'Neill. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Mary. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderfully. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, so did you have a great weekend?
I did. I had a wonderful weekend. It was kind of jam-packed with lots of social stuff, and it was very enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, good. And now it's behind us. Yeah, mine was just wonderful.
Great.
It was just wonderful. You know, I'm a hot weather, lots of humidity kind of person. So, you know, I couldn't have been in a bad mood this weekend if I tried, Heather.
Well, that's so good to hear, Mary. And I know you said the summer was to be spending time outside and relaxing, so it sounds like you got to do that.
Well, absolutely. And let's talk about that very thing. Heather was on the show at the very beginning of the summer, around Memorial Day, really sharing some tips, and wanted to check back in with her now that the summer has progressed a little bit. And you just used one of your favorite words, I know, in terms of intention. Talk about that for a moment in terms of the usefulness of setting an intention for what you would like your summer to look and feel like. Talk about that, Heather.
Yeah. I know we spoke about that a little bit, and it's just, I think it's very important to set an intention for what you want your summer to look and feel like. And when you're clear on that, when you're clear what you want out of something, you are much more likely to choose actions that are in alignment with your intention. And the clearer you are about what you want, I think the more likely you are to create that.
Yeah. Oh, because you draw it. You attract it.
You do. You absolutely do. You
to
do.
yourself. And that's one of the things, and I'm sure I made this comment the last time we spoke, Heather, but when you made a similar comment, it just reminds me that we have that much control over it.
We do. I believe we're co-creators of our life experience. So the more we are in touch with what we want, the more we can, bring that into our lives. And it's worth even kind of paying attention to, the things that you have wanted in your life and how it's come to you. And, also when you're least resistant to those things, they tend to come to you easier and quicker. And I think, that's why I feel like intention setting is such an important tool in really any aspect of your life.
As is one of your other points I know that you've written about and talked about. Heather does a lot of public speaking, motivational speaking, having to do with saying no to the things that you really don't want to do.
Yes, absolutely.
So important.
I heard a great interview with Judith Orloff the other day, and she said that no is a complete sentence.
I love that. I've heard that. Yes, she has said that before. Powerful.
It is, and it's like, wow, yeah, it is. It is a complete sentence. We kind of think that we always kind of need to do what other people want us to do, and I'm not saying don't compromise or sometimes put friends and family first or that kind of thing, but when you're talking about your time, and especially when it relates to the summertime and you don't want it flying by, I would love to let people know that it is okay to say no to things, and that people are not going to stop loving you if you say no to them.
And the world will not stop spinning.
No, it won't. And I mean, how many times do we end up saying yes to something that we don't really want to be doing? And then what happens? We feel resentful. So, there's really no reason not to honor your own time boundaries. And I think that what we don't realize is that if we don't honor our own time boundaries, then other people won't honor them either. So, next time someone asks you to do something and yeah, it seems like it'll be really fun, but I don't really feel like it. I'd rather stay home and relax. It's like, which choice feels better for you? Yes. And it's okay to choose that and notice what that does for your time.
And what I love about the expression that you heard Judith use, no is a complete sentence. I think that's so wonderful, Heather, because a lot of people, and I used to be very guilty of this. I will say I've made great strides because I'm very conscious of it. But a lot of people fret so much and get very stressed about not only saying no, but they feel they have to give a reason. No, because my grandmother died, or they feel they have to come up with something very significant that the person will understand. And for the most part, you don't always have to come up with a reason. Many times you really can just say no.
Sure, absolutely. I don't think we need to justify ourselves. And I also think, it's a point to be looked at from the other side, too, is that, people are allowed to do what they want to with their time. And if, I asked somebody to do something and they said, no, Heather, you know what, I just really don't feel like it. It's just that's not what I'm feeling today. It's like, okay, no problem. I'm going to allow you to have your experience the same way I would appreciate you allowing me to have mine. So you can actually be cognizant of that on either side of the coin, really.
I had an example of this that I will just share because we're all about full disclosure here. A good friend of mine who lives out of state asked me, my husband and I, to come up and spend Labor Day weekend with her. And it's about maybe a 6-hour drive. And I thought about it, and I almost said yes, but I knew that when Labor Day rolled around, I wouldn't want to. For a few reasons. I don't necessarily feel the need to do a 6-hour drive on Labor Day week, and there's an awful lot of traffic. And where we live, there happens to be often around Labor Day kind of, a lot of cookouts and so on because it's the end of the summer. And so I said to her, and she's a good friend of mine, and I said to her, to be very honest, I would love to come up and visit you, but not Labor Day weekend, so I'm just going to decline. And ever since then, Heather, to the point that you're making, I have felt so, kind of proud of myself, but more importantly, just so freed, because if I had said yes, from now until then, I know it would be on my mind. Mary, why'd you say yes? You don't really want to. That whole kicking yourself mindset that we put ourselves through.
Yeah, I do. And I love how you use the word I felt freed, because there's so many different ways that we can experience freedom that we don't realize. And, had you been worried about, what your friend would say, or, and sometimes it's even, we unrealistically think someone's going to be mad, or, maybe she might be disappointed, but it doesn't mean she doesn't love you or she doesn't understand, and that, she can respect your time too and your choices for your time. And it is very freeing when we make those choices for ourselves and say, this is my time, these are my boundaries, I'm going to honor them. And that old expression too that we teach people how to treat us. It's like if you are respecting your own time boundaries, other people will respect them too.
Absolutely. Speaking with personal life coach Heather O'Neill, and we have just about 2 more minutes, Heather. Could you talk about, because I know you do, again, write about this and talk about this, how some of your tips for connecting to what makes you happy? Because a lot of people I don't think really focus on that, do they?
No, I think we grow up and we feel like we're not allowed to do that anymore. And I think, the best gift we can give our children, our friends, and our family is to be our best and happiest self. And very simply, what makes you happy? And if you don't know the answer to that question, I recommend to my clients, sit down and write a list. And, even think about stuff you enjoyed when you were a kid. So many of those things we can still do now in some way, shape, or form, and we forget that. And I think it's also a good way to make the most of your time is, this is what makes me happy. I'm going to go to my list that I add to whenever I think of stuff, that anything from playing my favorite song to reading a book to taking taking a walk to trips I want to go on, just, getting connected with your inner self and what brings you joy only adds that to your life and to your relationships. So it's just a simple exercise, and I recommend to folks, spend 20 minutes every day doing something that's on your list of what makes you happy.
Now, don't you love that, Heather? Oh, my goodness. Perfect way to wrap up our conversation. Heather O'Neill, HeatherO'NeillCoaching.com. Is that the correct website?
That is, yes.
Heather O'Neill with 2 L's, coaching.com. Thank you so much, Heather. We need to connect before the summer's over.
Would love to. Thank you so much for having me, Mary.
Okay.
Enjoy your summer.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you, too.
Yeah, see, I love that. We just need to be reminded of that. And one way to be reminded, by the way, have you been to our website, talkofconnecticut.com? I hope you go often. But again, do take a look at my guide to having your best summer yet. I posted on Facebook page, Talk of Connecticut Facebook page, a picture and one of the tips, and I'll give more information in terms of what the picture was when we come back. We'll have open phones, by the way. Right now, it is time for the Wall Street Journal Report.